Welcome back to a new random trade. So today we're going to, I'll show you in just a minute actually. Let me go get something easier to hold this phone so that I can, just hold on. Much better. All right, so I will show you what we're going to do today. We are going to try to repair this. So for those of you that can't remember, it goes like that, wiggle it, and you try to scoot around. So I happen to find this in a dumpster, and we're gonna go ahead and try to weld this back together. So I'll show you what I got. Don't have much, but I was looking for random pieces of metal, figuring out a way that we could somehow fabricate something, plug weld something, figure something out. So I got a feeling what I'm gonna end up doing is if I flip this upside down like so. So if you can see, that's where it broke. So I have a feeling if we take a flat piece, stick it in here, and wrap it around, I can drill some holes in it, or those other pieces you just saw already have pre-holes in it, that I could plug weld it to this and this, and it would strengthen it and make it better. So that's what we're going to try to do, make some kind of improvement. So let's get doing that. So we're on my workbench now, and I got to prop this up so that I can get the right height to try to attach this to this end right here. As you can see, nice clean snap off the welds and broke the metal. So I'm gonna prop it up with some pieces of random wood you got here, and secret project I was working on. Don't know if I'll finish, we'll see, but let's prop this up. All right, so now that I have everything propped up, this is what we're going for. In a perfect world, reattach these 2 points along here. Some kind of flat piece from the inside wraps over, comes up, so I can plug weld to this and here, if you follow. So now we just got to make that piece. So a few measurements and we should be good. All right, so in a perfect world, what I was looking for was 7 inches, but A, it's not going to be a perfect world, and B, it doesn't have to be necessarily perfect. So this piece that was laying on the bench, you saw, I think would be good. Roughly there, we can cut it here. We can even move this up, wrap this end, it's going to come up a little bit, and then around, and tack weld it on, and then weld this all back together, and should be fine, if you follow. And actually, we'll put this here. So we'll push it up, you can see, roll it in, so you can see where it's going to end up having to bend and wrap itself around. Already has holes in it for plug weld. We may drill one up here, or we could always just flip it around once I cut this end off. So let me cut this off really quick and I'll be back. All right, so now here, a little shorter, which is fine, whatever. Same concept. So I have a feeling that'll work perfect. 2 nice plug welds. That one will probably be suspended. When we wrap it around, at least 1 plug weld here and there. We can always go around the edges too if needed, and we should be plenty. But now let's bend this into shape and keep, we'll call it test fitting, and then we will reposition and weld this thing on. Alright, so now that everything's prepped, I'm gonna position this thing, get this thing raised back up, position everything so that I can tack it in place, and then we can move forward. So let's do that. Alright, so first off, you're gonna tell me these are not welding gloves. And you are absolutely correct. But I do have a welding mask on. So we have everything rigged up right now in a jig, if you will, of magnets. So what I'm going to do now is tack weld a couple spots, remove some magnets to keep this in place. And once we weld this thing semi back together, then we'll put on our reinforcement and mold it so that'll never happen again. So let's do that. Alright, so now we're going to try to put this and mold this piece on. We might let it cool down a little bit more, but what we're going to end up doing is set this on there like such. Let's see if I can get a better angle for you viewers. Something like that. So we'll put this on, get this all centered away, plug weld these two, fill a little bit in there, maybe do some on the outside if we want for some extra strength, and then a little bit of hammering at this point. Hammer this down, plug weld, hammer it down, plug weld, and then end weld it, and this thing will be more reinforced than it was from factory. So let's do that. Alright, let's get this non-welding glove back on. Shouldn't do this at home, folks. Mask on. Alright, so we're going to let this cool down some. We do not want to melt these at all. It's warm to the touch. It's not hot, but we also don't want to run the risk. Same thing with this. I can grab it, it's fine, but I also don't want to melt anything. So we're going to let it cool down, reposition it so that we can have something here. We can hammer this down and weld it on. So let it cool down. Alright, so now as you can see here, that's as close as we're going to get. So we're going to now weld this up about here, here and here, maybe a little bit in there, and then we'll pound this down in and do the same. Alright, we are all finished up. We're just going to finish welding this up, and then the most boring part of cleaning up this garbage weld mess. Let's do it. If anybody knows what that line is from, please comment down below. And I might do another giveaway of some kind just on that alone. So let's do it. Alright, so my phone died in the middle of trying to record cleaning this up with the wire wheel. But so I cleaned this up with the wire wheel, and you can either stop here or you can grind this flat and round and almost make it look like it never happened, and then just polish it again with the wire wheel. We might go that route, we might not, we'll see. But the final result is that, and just like that, useless item pulled from dumpster works totally fine again. Thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe roughly here, and we'll see you on the next random trade.